Well, all eyes have been on Florida this week as, once again, election results hang in the balance. For context, this program is being recorded on a Thursday morning, and the state has set a deadline for all counties to report their election results by 3 p.m. Thursday afternoon. So at this moment, 3 races remain undecided: governor, Senate, and agricultural commissioner. All counties in Florida have completed their machine recounts except for Palm Beach County. Broward County, whose supervisor of elections has come under fire, made the deadline, finishing at 1 a.m. Thursday. Now, since things are so fluid, we can't really get into specifics here, and it's possible when this program airs, some races may have been decided or are in the middle of a manual recount. So, how did we get here? To help break down what these recounts could mean for future elections is Professor Catherine DiPaolo, university instructor in FIU's Department of Politics and International Relations. Catherine, thank you so much for being with us.
I'm happy to be here.
It's just so fluid, as we said, and so crazy that we're at this again. After what happened in 2000, you would have thought Florida had learned its lesson. So why are we here where we are? And again, it was Palm Beach County and Broward County that were having some issues.
Right, and they were at the center of this recount fight back in 2000. Yeah. You know, we have election night, and DeSantis is sort of crowned governor, if you will. Gillum concedes. We knew the Senate race was going to be close, perhaps the agriculture commissioner as well. And then all of a sudden, Broward County, you know, adds 95,000 votes Wednesday and then into Thursday. So here we are. We're at this recount process that I think none of us really wanted to fathom after going through it in 2000.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about Broward County, and let's talk about embattled supervisor of elections, Brenda Snipes, taking a lot of heat for this delay, for these extra ballots. Even former Governor Jeb Bush, who appointed her 15 years ago, said on Twitter, said she should be let go. She's done. She should be done after this, calling for her ouster. She was elected, though, 4 times. I mean, but do you think now, after all of this, people have lost confidence in her? What do you think is going to happen with Snipes after this?
I think she's going to step down. She made comments to that effect a few days ago. I think she sees the writing on the wall. Either Governor Scott before his term ends, or Ron DeSantis, again, if he is declared the winner in the governor's race, will remove her from office for incompetence. So I think she'll remove herself before that happens.
Now, the other thing to talk about is we were talking about Miami-Dade County, and things seem to go smoothly there. Talk about why things went so smoothly in the largest, most populous county in the state.
Right. I mean, they had probably 115,000 more ballots to count than Broward County did. That position of supervisor of elections is appointed. It's the only appointive position in the state of Florida out of the 67 counties. Amendment 10 was now passed.
Which we just passed.
Right,
yeah.
Just passed by voters. And so now that position and all supervisor of elections positions are going to be elected.
Do you think that's going to be a problem, though? Because that was something that's happening with Snipes, too. She is a Democrat, and people have talked about that, and that maybe that somehow influenced what's going on in her elections department. So speak to that.
Right. So even if, there's no Democratic shenanigans going on, I think the fact that these are partisan races, these are partisan positions, really bother the party that is out of power. So there may be a push, and even a push maybe for a constitutional amendment on the ballot for 2020 to make these supervisors of elections nonpartisan.
So that could actually be parsed out, maybe, that we just vote for supervisor of election as a position that is appointed, say, by the county mayor or something like that, right? Or
well, I think they're going to stay elective positions unless there is the amendment that specifically says it will be appointed or nonpartisan or both.
Okay, or both. All right, so let's get to Palm Beach County. So they're still in the middle of this count as you and I speak right now on Thursday morning. One of the headlines in the Miami Herald said that the Palm Beach County Elections Department was in prayer mode. Right. And that is a quote from their supervisor of elections, Susan Butcher, who is having to deal with old equipment. We saw that, and it was reported that one of the machines failed, right? It overheated, as they said, and wasn't counting the ballots properly. And it's also, the machines are allegedly only counting one race at a time. So walk us through this. This is going, they're not going to make the deadline.
No, They are not going to make the deadline. They already know that. I think this is going to be within a court process to figure out what deadline Palm Beach County may have. So even though we have a deadline today of machine recounts, we might not actually know if we're even going to go into manual recounts until Palm Beach gets its results together.
How long do you think it might take them? I mean, this is a big, long process.
A very long process.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that these machines are shutting down, that their machines can only count one race at a time, and we have 3 plus a 4th state
Right.
legislative race in the mix. I mean, it could be well into next week until we have the results.
And then touch on, too, what's happening in Palm Beach specifically with the Florida House race. There was one of the candidates was contesting what was happening, right?
Right. And it was a very close margin, and he was essentially angry because the Senate race was getting counted first, and these statewide statewide races were being counted first, and his was being left to the end. Now I think this has moved into federal court territory.
Oh, wow.
With the Senate race. It's really just a mess.
All right, so that's a wait and see. A lot going on in Palm Beach.
Absolutely.
All right, so walk us through then what happens when all of those machine counted votes are in and given to the state. What could trigger then a manual recount, which is actually, and go through that for us, a canvassing board sits down and manually take it. They count them by hand, right?
They do.
Okay.
They do. So once these machine recounts are all tallied, including Palm Beach,
right.
If the percentage is within a 1/4%, that will then trigger the manual recount. And it looks like the Senate and the agricultural race will certainly fall into those territories. So what the machines have also been doing is sorting out undervotes and overvotes.
What is that?
So an undervote basically is no demarcation in a particular race. And perhaps with Broward's ballot design, that could be a serious consideration, perhaps over 20,000 ballots that didn't mark anything. There's really nothing the canvassing board can do. Overvotes are where there is a mark for more than one candidate. So for instance, if there's a little pen dot on one of the little bubbles and the other is bubbled in fully, perhaps that might be considered a vote for the candidate that had it fully bubbled. Maybe it was just an error in the printing of the ballot.
Would the machine count that twice?
It would probably count that
boy.
twice,
All right,
as
so
they go through.
that's why
So,
that-
right, the canvassing boards will have to look at these undervotes, overvotes one by one, and this is where you're going to have the lawyers for both sides watching what is also happening in the press.
Can you just see the pictures too
Again?
on the front of the of the newspaper with the giant eye looking through the magnifying glass?
Well, in Broward's ballot, those circles are pretty little. So
Yeah.
if you're looking to see if there's any demarcation somewhere, we may see a repeat of
The
that.
other thing too you were talking about is some of the mail-in ballots, right? They're looking at signatures again.
Right. The federal judge has just ruled that in all 67 counties, those that have mismatched signatures have until Saturday, 5 p.m. to go to the supervisor of elections and straighten those out.
Oh my.
Right?
We are running out of time quickly. What are your students saying about this?
They are just baffled. They were toddlers, very little when the 2000 recount happened. So I've gone in and explained the exhaustion we felt then and how that really applies today.
Maybe some of them were born. I have a millennial baby. You do too, born in 2000. They got to vote for this very first time. And look at all of this excitement.
Absolutely.
Catherine, thank you so much. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Explain it all. We're going to watch and see what happens. Do you have a comment or a question about the Florida recounts? We'd love to hear from you. Send us your take on this or any other topic that matters most to you. You can reach us by email or via our Twitter or Facebook page @YourSouthFL. Leave us a comment, post a video. We look forward, as always, to hearing from you.